I'm somebody who loves roguelites. If you can name it, I've probably got it, and I play the ever-loving shit out of them. They're great little games that I can't help but just become entirely absorbed into. Almost every one I've tried, I've been able to get some sort of reasonable enjoyment out of. Until now. Auroch Digital, along with the Vampire Survivors developers, have produced this Vampire Survivors clone down to half of its namesake. I, like most people, found Vampire Survivors as a gateway into the roguelite genre, and when it got announced that this was going to be a joint project between the two, I was pretty excited, to be honest. What I didn't really expect, I'd end up feeling this disappointed by Warhammer Survivors. I've had the demo in my library for a while now, and it's been a little bit too hot to care about painting, so I thought I'd just chill a little bit and actually get round to playing this demo. First of all, it's really cool when you first boot it up. They've clearly been quite privileged there, because one of the big things that we were always told at Games Workshop is that we could never, under any circumstances, mix the two IPs between AOS and 40k. So yeah, they've got a massive free pass from GW on that one. But I can't help but feel like this is really uninspired. It feels more like a company has given the rights to Auroch to use their game to slap a new skin over it. And I wish I was exaggerating when I say I really don't feel like much has actually changed between Vampire and Warhammer Survivors. The progression of the game itself is no different, with the exact same gold for stats system as seen in Vampire Survivors. All of the UIs are exactly the same. And you know what? It doesn't even just end with that. It's the small details. It's the animations of the chests. It's the way that they open, and when you get a big or a small one, that same annoying, unskippable animation every time. And yeah, that is also a criticism on Vampire Survivors. Why the hell can you not skip those things? And also, not forgetting the combo and evolution of weapons that you have in Vampire Survivors is also here. So that's the animations, the combat, the leveling system, the weapon upgrades, and even the enemies themselves. It's like Temu Vampire Survivors. Could they not have tried to make more changes here? And I mean, I guess they have. It does feel a lot more difficult. It feels like you're being swarmed a lot sooner than what you were in Vampire Survivors or any other roguelite that I've played. You have your one at a time nids and clan rats. Then you also have the sweeping across the screen group of enemies and elites. There is a lot of elites. It's quite mad how many elites you get. Maybe it's just the demo, but I just can't help but feel like this demo, for the very least, is just quite stagnant and quite a stale piece of media. I am being a bit harsh in this, and I totally appreciate that it has also been developed alongside Poncle, but whilst we've seen a lot of innovation from even Poncle themselves and the roguelike Bulletstorm genre, this is such a de-evolution. And I love Vampire Survivors because it's Vampire Survivors. What I don't love is reskinned Vampire Survivors. If this wasn't attached to the Warhammer brand, I feel like people would be pretty pissed off and asking, why is anybody paying for a clone of another game? One thing that Games Workshop do incredibly well is being several years behind culture. I mean, they were still referencing a tweet from 2008. I even feel like those that were online at the time, or those that even remembered what the whole tweet was, would be so bewildered now reading it and not particularly understanding why it's still being used. It wasn't really funny when it happened, and it's certainly not funny nearly 20 years later. My biggest problem, as I said, I've played a lot of roguelites. I don't feel like I can be the judge and jury on a game. I don't feel like I can personally say that I have that sort of accreditation that can fully criticize something in that regard, and I don't think my opinion should be taken above anything. If you enjoy it yourself, you enjoy it yourself, but these are just my opinions on this. There have been so many great entries into the roguelike genre in the years since Vampire Survivors, and also, obviously, the genre didn't start with Vampire Survivors. You know, it's been a genre for longer than most people have been alive, but you've got games like FTL, Halls of Torment, Dead Cells, Slay the Spire, Inscription, Brotato, Mugenics, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Nyota, Loop Hero, Darkest Dungeon, Cult of the Lamb, Dicey Dungeons, Returnal, Risk of Rain, Hades, Borlex Pit, Dogwitch, Clover Pit, Megabonk, Monster Train, and Deep Rock Survivors, just to name a few off the top of my head. Of course, as well, let's not forget, I might have already said it, but I'm going to say it again, Halls of Torment. If you like Warhammer Fantasy and you like Diablo, Halls of Torment's the way to go. The thing is as well, do you know what none of those do? Or at least not to the extent of this. Reskin Vampire Survivors. They all have their unique takes on gameplay, atmosphere, role-playing mechanics, skill trees, combat, level progressions, risks and rewards, and they're all unique in their own way. Sure, Survivors is unique in the fact that you can play as two different poster children from two game systems in one game in the Warhammer universe, and that's about it. Starting up as well, it feels like you're always playing as Old Man Poe from Vampire Survivors. And instead of this gradual increment of difficulty, mobs just spew out at you. And I get that this is a demo and early game, but this shit needs to be fleshed out. It needs to be balanced better. And again, my authority on talking about difficulty and game design is below par. I have no authority whatsoever. I just have a lot of time playing similar titles. It just feels like I'm tired of a game that I've barely put any time into. And I know there is a lot of people that would be quite mad at somebody for critiquing something with such little playtime. But also, I think it's pretty important that a game and that developers respect players' time. I think players' time is one of the most important things. A lot of people don't have much time, you know? I feel like that's why other games such as Brotato has managed to fucking absolutely kill it. Like Binding of Isaac. You can just quickly switch on and switch off whenever you want. Whereas this, I don't feel like it's being very consumer friendly, especially not when you consider that the target audience for Warhammer and the average customer of Warhammer is over 34. And that's not just me pulling that out my arse, that was what we were told in marketing, and they needed to bring it down so that we can continue selling Warhammer. I was really excited for this. I am a huge Skaven fan, and I love that AOS was getting some love. Absolutely love it. I want a Total War AOS. Give me a Total War AOS, please. You know, just do that for me. Thank you. That would be great. And its beginner difficulty just makes the start of your save more of a chore of dying and restarting. And the difficulty off the bat just makes it more of a chore of just dying and restarting. And look, I'm not somebody who shies away from difficult games. I love a challenge. I like ramping up difficulty. Love a Souls game and all that shit. But can somebody actually inform me why the hell my health gets abolished by tiny nids in the same way as elites? This is what I mean by balancing. It just sucks and it just didn't feel very cool. I can understand why people would pick this up. It's kind of like the whole U-Tunes shit, isn't it? It's got a Space Marine on it, so better grab it, but I don't think that this is what should be settled for. Warhammer could have something so much more unique than this, and it's a real shame. But wait, I've got to mention again how cool it is that there's a 40k and AOS in one game. Yeah, that is incredibly cool. And as I've said, I'm a big fan and I'm glad that it's getting the attention it deserves. But once again, it just feels so lackluster. Other than the visuals, nothing really changes. The Skaven move the same as the Tyranids, and the elite enemies are just the same reskins that die in the same amount of hits as the clan rats. It all just feels a bit like a landlord special. Seen a bug on the wall, taken that bug, rolled over it with the landlord's standard clinical institution clan rat and called it a day. This might be showing my ignorance for the lore of Warhammer as a whole, but why are there so many Tyranids with guns that don't shoot said guns? Why even have them if they aren't going to shoot at all? Like, I'm pretty sure it's a part of their bodies. I understand that. But, like, what? Do they not eat enough snacks before they can shoot? Because none of them shoot. Why do they not shoot? It's really, really annoying. Like, why not just have different gaunts? That's about all I know. Why don't you just have, like, melee ones? Why would you not just do that instead? I don't get it. Like, if someone can enlighten me in the comments, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, maybe they just haven't snacked enough on their biomass to be able to shoot them yet. Editing, Muggy. I've just realised the Astartes has a bolt gun at the start. Like, the guy's literally holding a fucking bolt gun. Why? It's something that you unlock. Have it come in later. What the like, this is just unmatched levels of laziness here. regardless, it really took away from the immersion and the experience. I've got all these nids walking towards me with these giant fucking red rifles in hand, and they're just waiting to get close enough to give my armor a sniff before being mutilated. It just don't make sense. And I know the movement in Vampire Survivors before full upgrades is a bit shit, but this just feels really bad. These Astartes are walking tanks, but maybe have some sort of compromise there. A dodge might be cool. It might not fit with being a clone of Vampire Survivors, but it will at least make the first couple of hours of the game feel a little bit better. Hell, and just for this, I even started a brand new save on Vampire Survivors just to see how it compares. The first immediate difference was the pickup radius. Starting off on it, Warhammer Survivors has literally none. You have to be on top of every item. And I guess this isn't a huge deal, but if you're at the beginning stages, it can make it all a little bit of a nightmare, as you're going to be doing a lot of back and forth from the main menu just to try and grind enough just to make a difference. And comparing the items between the two games makes you realise that everything, once again, is just the same. Nuln Oil is Santa Oil, Chainsword is the same as the whip, and I'm pretty sure we'll see so much more of this as time goes on. At first, I thought it was kind of cool and quirky to have dice, tape measure and glue as weapons, but they all suck. The dice, why does it take so long for them to explode? It just doesn't really make sense. I feel like it should be more of an immediate drop. And going back to start again on Vampire Survivors really proves my point. There's so many elites in comparison on Warhammer Survivors that it just makes it unenjoyable. I'd rather them take more inspiration from Vampire Survivors if they're so determined on not really making much change to the overall formula. Maybe it's the fact that it's different developers because it's the people that made Bolt Gun, but starting up Vampire Survivors from scratch again has reminded me exactly how Vampire Survivors became such an insane hit. It's satisfying, it's addictive, it has all the hallmarks of a modern day arcade game, and it truly captured that spirit in its delivery. Warhammer Survivors feels like it's one of the multitude of clones that came out just after Vampire Survivors shot to heights. It feels sloppy, it feels rushed, but when you're already in line for your mush in the canteen and they've done all your favourite coloured mush today, it just makes all the difference when eating it, apparently. Let me know what you think. Am I being too harsh on this? Does it feel like a cop-out to anybody else? Because it sure does to me, and I know I can be quite biased against Warhammer and against Games Workshop. I just feel like people deserve better than this. I feel like we could have had something much more fresh. We could have had something that actually tried to innovate a little bit rather than just beating the same dead horse, but that is the general way for Games Workshop anyway, is to just continue to, whip that horse until that horse no longer exists. It's just a little bit of mush in the ground, which I'm pretty sure I've used that joke a few times before, and you know what? It works for Games Workshop, so it's going to work for me.